what's up, y'all? This is Julian, the Executive Director of the Hub South Dakota, where we work to gather resources to bring to BIPOC entrepreneurs. This is a new podcast that we started. Today is episode 2 of Roots and Revenue, and I am excited to have Cham here with me today. So I am going to just have him introduce himself, but before we do that, I want to make sure you know the work of this brilliant individual. So I'm sure you can see it on camera there. You can't see my face anymore, but this will be hanging up at the Hub's office. It's a piece actually that hung in my house for a while. Was I the first person to get something like this, or one of the first?
Yeah, you were like, you were the first to be like, Sam, I need that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I need that.
I needed it, man. So yeah, go ahead. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. Give us a little bit of information about you.
Yeah, so I'm Cham/Sam, depending on who you are, how well you know me. But first, I want to say thanks for letting me be here, giving me space to talk, tell my story. Sure. I wanted to say you were one of the first people that supported me, but you beat me to that. Originally we met because I asked you to be a guest on my podcast back in the day because I thought you were doing something in the community, so I feel like this is full circle.
There you go.
I finally get to, it's an honor to be here.
Appreciate that, man.
And I've been it's been a weird journey. I'm glad to be here, but right now, I just transitioned to what I call the new phase of what I do, who I am, what my goals and dreams and aspirations are, right? I'm doing infrared photography. It's a new style I developed based on necessity, going blind. I was shooting commercial stuff before, and that's how we met. Was I was doing podcasts, doing commercials, doing ads and stuff, just working the capitalist machine, trying to feed my family and stuff. And then I went blind, and from that I couldn't use a camera the same way. So long story short, today I'm a artist, which is I'm really proud to say that.
You've always been an artist.
I've accepted it today.
Okay. All right.
I am finally in a position where I don't cringe up and turn into a tense little ball when people say that. I'm learning to accept it and think of just the positives that comes with it.
For sure. I want to dig a little bit, maybe deeper into that if you're comfortable. What made you cringe when folks will call you an artist? Is it the stigma around artists in the community, or is it the community itself not accepting art? What was it?
I've always struggled with praise because I grew up just hypercritical, environment hypercritical, very high standards, and I always set high standards for myself.
Yep.
And so praise was just something that wasn't part of the equation. You know what I mean? It's if you go above and beyond and you deliver and you get 100%, that's the standard.
Yeah.
So that was the conditions I was raised in. So knowing that and then seeing something doing things that are subjective like video or photo, just knowing the process, being the one cooking it, I know there's flaws in there, you know.
Sure.
So when they're like, yum, 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 this is amazing, I'm like, yeah, but you didn't see that I was out of Hungarian paprika, so I had to use smoked paprika, and it does affect the acidity and all that.
Sure.
If we're talking food terms, but
for sure.
That's to me how I've always been, where it's it could be better. And it's very toxic, I know that. It's very Japanese. It's Lexus's slogan is the pursuit of perfection. Been obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with that idea.
Yeah.
And it's weird because so the idea of me turning into an artist is letting go of that. You know what I mean? So that's
letting go of that
perfection, that pressure, because when I do commercial gigs, I gotta be on, Julian. I have to deliver. The pressure's on for me, because I suffer with, super high standards and then imposter syndrome at the same time, and those two things are the two wolves inside of me. So when I'm doing client work, which I'm trying to move away from, when I'm doing client work, it's just I put extra pressure on top of everything, and somehow I've gotten over the years that my outside is cool as a cucumber, but inside is if you could peek into the inside, it's complete chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's fires everywhere. The water's on fire.
Listen, that's to me though. That's the sheer sign of greatness behind the artist, don't you think? Is when you can present something so beautiful and still be the one to say, I can be better.
Yeah.
Right? When you're the one that says, I see that flaw, I'm going to correct it next time, and you do correct it next time, whatever behavior, whether it's a personal behavior, whether it's something that you have to adjust in your skill set, whatever it may be. As long as you correct it, like to me, that's the greatness. That's what striving for perfection is. Now, I think we'll have to. I'm not an artist by any means, but I think as a professional, we also think of striving for greatness in whatever our profession is, and understanding that we'll never reach perfection. And I think sometimes the battle within is when I think, because sometimes I do get in my own mind and actually, I'm kind of battling that right now. So funny you say that. But the crazy part is when you think you can achieve perfection in something, and then things just don't go your way.
Yeah.
That's when, for me, I started losing that battle. And so, yeah, I mean, I completely understand what you're saying, and I might have jumped ahead of myself a little bit in the conversation, because I do want the viewers to know too that the purpose of this podcast is to make sure that we're talking about the personal side of things and the things that you had to overcome as a professional, or first off, as a person of color, to become such a great professional in your career. So I want to take just a couple steps back and just, can we talk to you? So right off camera here, you were talking about kind of your childhood and give us your garage theory.
Yeah, so like it's just so funny to me because like you'd go to any of these entrepreneurial meetups, you watch any of these gurus on YouTube, they always talk like this, and it's always like,
as I have my hands like
I do too, I do too, dude. I'm calling myself out, at the end of the day, I'm calling myself out, but it's like the one thing I hear all over and over, it just I laugh at it now because I used to be like, yeah, just do that. It was start your business in your garage. Oh. This business started in a garage. Bill Gates garage. Mark Zuckerberg garage. Elon Musk garage attached to a diamond field. You know what I mean? But like, it's just like people don't realize, like, for people like me, refugees, immigrants, you know how hard it is to get a garage? Right. I didn't get a garage till I was 32. Like, that's our garage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the wild thing to me. So it's like people are like, yeah, Steve started his thing when he was 17 in his garage. It blows my mind, dude. I'm like, when I was 17, I was trying to work to like help my moms.
For sure.
So it's like I didn't have the space, the garage, and then the financial freedom to start a business because people are like, oh yeah, all you need is a garage and idea. And it's like, well, you need material, usually if you're selling something.
Yeah.
You're selling a service, Absolutely. You need at least internet access.
Yeah.
There's bare minimums to this.
For sure.
Like, I didn't have a cell phone till I was an adult.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a lot of things that, like, those garage folks say, just go start in your garage. I don't think they have the perspective of people below them who don't have the means to get a garage.
For sure.
So, like,
for sure.
Like, on that note, definitely I grew up poor, like, in Sioux Falls. I knew that because every public school I went to, they always told us we're the most diverse. We have, like, the biggest range of, like, incomes. So I'm like, all right, that means we're included in the bottom, So, like, that's what that means to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, but honestly, like, trying to, like, be a professional and do all that, like, photo, video stuff before being an artist was like, I feel like it was a gift and a curse, right? Like my upbringing, the environment I grew up in, because like I grew up raised like by a Buddhist Vietnamese household, right? And then all of my friends were either like Native American, Latino, or Black, or like from the Virgin Islands, so like with a Jamaican accent type thing. So like.
And where'd you grow up?
In Sioux Falls by the Penn.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So if you know Sioux Falls, you know what that area is like.
Yep.
So
Actually diverse.
yeah. So I was like, it's like I say it's a gift and a curse because like growing up around like all these different kids and all these different people it was always like I could code switch and I could always like be parts of different groups, but I never felt part of like in a group. You know what I mean? Like I've always been on the periphery of groups, and I think that attributes to why I started picking up the camera. Because when you're on the periphery, it's easier to pick up a camera, right?
For sure.
It's easier to be places when you have a camera because people are like, oh, there's the guy with the camera. He's not one of us, but he's here to do his thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was always like my crutch, was my camera. Was like, all right, if I have this camera, I can be anywhere because I have a purpose, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like a little cheat code for me. It's like I got this,
For sure.
I got my camera. Like, hey, let me. And like, out of it real with you, Julian, like it's kind of like having a ladder and a safety vest. You have a camera, you can get into places that you're not supposed to get into. Like I've gotten into so many concerts, like public events, things like that. So it's like. It's just like that little bit of, the scoundrel edge to me growing up the way I did. It was like, I got this camera.
For sure.
It's a mask, so like it's always been that. So like jumping to the business world, you just lean into it more, it's just like I know how to talk in different rooms. I know how to make people feel like comfortable. I know I'm like a subversive cheerleader is like what I try to do when I go to spaces, to rooms with my camera. Try to make people like the best version of themselves in the way that I do. Where it's like either I'm telling a joke or I just wait.
Sure.
And I see people light up. The moment people light up, I try to capture them.
Yeah.
And like that's how I made feeling like I wasn't part of the group. Okay, because like I still never feel like I'm part of any group. Like I feel the best when I'm with myself in the woods with a camera.
Sure.
Like anytime I'm in like a situation where there's more than 5 people, I'm looking at the exit. I'm always looking at exit, and I don't know what that is really. I don't know if that's just like my nature.
Sure.
But so yeah, like navigating the professional world was insanely difficult because I could sit there and be on the periphery of groups. I could get some gigs, but I never felt involved. I was never like invited in the group. I never felt like I made deep, lasting friendships or relationships ever as a commercial photographer or videographer, because like at the end of the day, each touch point was based on an intended result. It was all intentional.
Sure.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna. And it's on both sides. It's a win-win, at the end of the day. But, like, as a person, as a human that's always felt like on the periphery, like, I crave real relationships and real connections, too. But, like, doing commercial work and that stuff, I could never turn off that part of me that was the subversive cheerleader, So I could never be honest. I could never voice my actual voice. It was always filtered. It was always, how can I say something to this person so that they think I'm a good person, or that they trust me, so that they have more faith, so that when we're working together on a project that we're on the same level, that we get the results we want.
For sure.
Where in a friendship, in a relationship, it's okay to be spiky. It's okay to be like, nah, dude, what you're doing right there, I don't mess with that, and this is why, and I'm telling you because I'm your friend.
Right.
But on like a professional level, it's like the goal is not to make you morally a better person. The goal is to make you money, and that doesn't.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
And that doesn't line up.
For sure.
It doesn't always line up.
Yeah.
But when it does, it feels good.
Yeah.
Like so. Yeah, that's kind of like how I look at like just how I've navigated the professional world. And now that I'm transitioning to like art, which is, it's weird because it's a different kind of selling, right?
Sure.
So now I'm selling cool.
But you're selling you.
And I'm selling me.
You're selling you this time, which is much different. It's a better feel. Well, depending on how you're selling, right? It's a better feeling. But I think you said a couple things, and I got so many follow-up questions from what you said. But you mentioned something about not being able to fully tell the truth or be who you really are in those commercial settings. Do you feel like maybe either mentally or physically that was draining for you outside of the commercial setting, just in a personal space?
Oh yeah, it's like I'm always tiptoeing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in a professional space when you're always tiptoeing because like it takes extra energy. You know, like it takes more energy. So like that, I think that's why I go outside in the woods. Is because like in society I am always tiptoeing. You know.
Yeah.
So it is draining. It's super draining because you filter everything you're gonna say, how your body language is, the things you buy in public, how you hold your coffee. You know, all these things I'm always thinking about. And maybe that's why I'm really good at what I do, is because I always think of like the picture of like the image and what people see, the perception, right?
Yep.
That's perception management at the end of the day is what I do.
Yeah.
And so like that oozes over in my life, and it's tiring, dude. Cause like when I'm at home, I'm a different person. I'm complete slug mode, dude. You know what I mean? Like I am in my Costco sweats.
Yep.
And I am just with my cats.
Yeah.
And
I hear you.
like me and Nicole, like she's my fiance.
Yep.
And we talk about this a lot.
I know that. Nicole's her.
Oh, for that. Yeah. But like she's got a high like a high stress office job. She's in meetings all day, right?
Yep.
And when I'm out and busy working all day, we're both doing this all day. So we get home, we are just silent together. You know what I mean? Just sitting there with the cats. I make maybe like 2 words an hour.
Sure.
And then
and sometimes that's the best.
It is the best.
Yeah.
Like we need it because like my day is just packed with either direction or decision making.
Yeah.
So it's like,
or filling someone else's needs.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes you just have to take a step back and fulfill your own need.
Yeah.
So I get that. You know, my wife is at the restaurant and she's there. Sometimes it feels like 24/7, and she's fulfilling everyone else, literally fulfilling their needs, fulfilling their order of food.
Yeah.
And so when we get home, sometimes it's just like, all right, let's watch a show, and let's just relax.
Yeah.
Let's just relax. You got the kids, like all the responsibilities now are done at the end of the night. Let's just relax, and sometimes you need that for your own peace of mind.
And you can feel the energy coming back to you sometimes. And that's the greatest feeling.
Your body. Yeah.
The greatest feeling is when you are so exhausted. You sit down and you feel like you're slowly charging. People think I'm weird when I say that, but that's a great feeling.
Listen, I'm old, man, so like I feel it in my back. I feel all of the release of tension from the day just kind of in my back. It just goes away. Right?
Yeah.
So I get that. I really appreciate that. I think this is probably a good kind of segue to talk about when you talk about refilling your energy. Now you're doing something a little bit different. We talked about how you're doing something for you. You guys have seen the work. Let's talk about how you have had to, or what you have done specifically to kind of overcome those challenges that you just talked about, and where it has taken you, where you are now, what you're doing now in your professional career.
So luckily for me, or I'm just being an optimist, you're saying luckily, but like, what put a stop to the commercial work at the rate I was going, the self-destructive rate I was going, is my eyes gave out. And like, all the blood vessels in my eyes erupted from diabetes, undiagnosed diabetes. So like, that was 6 years ago now. And like
It's been that long?
Yeah, and after a few years I transitioned to this, but like that in-between time was figuring out a lot of stuff, and like, almost like I figured out that I can overcharge. I figured out that if I'm not doing stuff, I will go crazy. So like, like modern batteries, you could leave them on the charger forever and it's fine. Bro, you leave me in that charger past 100% for 4 minutes, the whole house is exploding, Julian. It's a delicate balance of recharging and then exhausting that energy, and that's the only way my brain stays at a level where like I don't crash and burn. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing because like it's hard for me to recharge, honestly. Like, I used to be able to play video games. I used to be able to read books. I used to be able to do long like time spans of recharging and stuff, right?
Yep.
And like the only way I can do that now is I take a nap because I feel so much guilt. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it is. But like when I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying myself and I catch myself saying, "Man, I'm having fun," I'm hit with guilt.
Really?
Yeah. Ever since I
Wow.
went blind.
Okay.
Because there's this thought that's poison to me, and I'm like trying to untrain it. Because my reality, Julian, is I'm going blind again. I'm not gonna be able to do this for I don't know when.
Right.
I don't know when it's gonna happen, but my eyes are deteriorating. When I go like this, I close my right eye, I can barely see out of my left eye. So I have a timer in my head. So anytime I'm having fun, I'm like, you should be taking photos, you know. So now that voice keeps getting louder and louder and louder and louder, and like the balance is shifting towards I'm not even recharging anymore, Julian.
Yeah.
So it's like I know I'm almost at a point where I'm gonna like crash and burn again. So like I've been trying so hard to figure out like safety precautions and things like that, but it's incredibly difficult because like the guilt creeps in the moment I'm having fun these days.
So two questions.
Yeah.
First one is more of a quick answer. Are you still having fun with photography?
Yeah.
Okay. So then
that's a weird thing because I think it's me trying to force other things. It's weird because like when I'm doing the infrareds, we're great. Timers exist, right?
Yeah.
But when I try to do stuff where I'm like, look, I need to do something that's recharging, then I get all stressed out. I feel guilty.
So then, maybe this is not even a follow-up question. This is more of just a statement in my mind I'm thinking about. It's so phenomenal that while you're losing your actual sight, you have the clear vision to see something within yourself that many people can't see. And you're talking about seeing like this timer in your head and seeing that I only have an X amount of time to practice my craft, do the thing that I love, because I know that's going to end. I can't imagine how difficult that may be. And I don't know, how long have we known each other now? Probably 10 plus years.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
And I've only known you to be great at what you do, no matter what it is. So with that said, what's next for you then? You're not going away. Because again, you are phenomenal. You're great at what you do. And when this is done, I just know there's more greatness in you. Have you thought about what you're going to do?
So man, I'm so glad you asked this question because I've been dying to talk about this. Right?
Yes. Okay. All right.
Last week, I got asked to talk to a group of Art Academy students, and the group was called Group. Shout outs to Group.
Yeah.
And
where are they from? Henderson Falls?
I think it's USF.
USF? Okay.
Or Augie.
All right.
USF or.
Right.
It's definitely an or, not an
Okay,
and.
all right.
They're gonna be so mad. They're like, yeah, come on. Shout out Sioux Falls schools.
Right, there we go.
But, dude, it like, they're like, yeah, you only gotta be here for an hour. It's like, nah, I'm gonna stay late. I'm gonna hang out till these kids are done. Man, like, I was, because they asked me to do a talk in front of my exhibit at the pavilion, and, man, these kids were asking questions, and, like, it filled my heart so much, like, being around, like, these kids who, like, and they're insanely talented. Like, this kid was just redrawing, like, Michelangelo, just sitting there in their sketchbook. They're like, like, the creation of man.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Michelangelo. See, I'm not that art. I'm not that artsy. Like that one, though, you know? And then I was like, they were painting on skateboards. And the hands look like this in that painting, right? Where it's like the creation of man, or creation of Adam, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
where the fingers are.
Yeah, they're about to touch.
All right, yeah.
I was like, you should put like they do play with tech decks. So they drew skateboards on that, like, paint. And I was like, this is amazing. These kids are amazing. Yeah. So, like, it was so fulfilling because that student just lit up. And they're like, oh my gosh, that was the thing I needed? And it's like, this, no, it's just its own thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is so fulfilling because I
Yeah.
just gave that kid like a little nudge, and they went with it, and like now it's like I saw them just like glow, and like just like oh my gosh,
they blossomed right in front of your eyes.
yeah, and it was like by the end, like some of the kids, like I'm not trying to, I am bragging. I'm definitely bragging right now.
As you should.
I'm super bragging.
As
They're
you
like,
should, yeah.
like, Cham, you coming back next week? And I was like, no, that yeah. So like, I was so proud, and like, I was like, man, I'm in the wrong field.
Mm.
I need to be like educating. I need to be around people who want to learn because it lights a fire under my butt, dude. I'm like, just being around people like that, like hungry, just talented, grateful, like, and some of them got egos, so you can check them. I felt like a football coach in an art, you know, like it was so cool. And so it's just like, I don't know, it was like the most like. Besides this, nothing's more life-giving than this. Besides shooting the landscapes, like that, I've been thinking. I was like, I need to incorporate that into whatever I do next. But like my main goal for what's next is, so I broke into the pavilion somehow, right?
Okay.
Like 5 months ago, I was in Vietnam. I shot a set 5 months ago in Vietnam. I planned it for 10 years, and it was something on my bucket list. And I was like, I'm gonna do this before I go blind. So we did it.
Yep.
And then, like, I get back, Pavilion hits me up ASAP. And they're like, yo, you got some of that art, Cham, get some of that art before you release it. So I was like, sick. So the whole set is about Vietnam.
Okay.
It's an infrared, it's called Infrared. And I was like, man, this is so corny. I love it. I called it Infrared. Now I'm going to travel the world, and I might, like, 50-50. Might go to France next summer.
Okay.
Because then that set will be called In France.
Hey.
And that's even funnier than Infrared.
That's a little bit better, you know what I mean?
So yeah, I'm gonna. That's my plan now, Julian.
Okay.
Is just saving up for traveling, like travel and shoot, because like I want to. With the Vietnam set, I didn't know it was gonna be in a gallery, right? So I cobbled it together. I made a video for the wall, but like I want to make it very intentional now. Every time I go to a location, I want to write a book.
Okay.
And I want to shoot a documentary. And then I want to do a gallery.
Okay.
All 3 pieces are all one.
Sure.
So that's kind of my goal, country by country.
Okay. So then are you going to backtrack and write a book for
Vietnam?
For this particular...
Well, with Vietnam, I've been piecing together a film. Because and that combines the documentary and the book for Vietnam.
Sure, yep.
Because I didn't shoot it intentionally to be a documentary.
Right.
So it's more abstract. So that way I can do voiceover and stuff. So so the first one's going to be a little bit different, but moving forward, I kind of have an idea. Because, dude, at the end of the day, Lexus, baby, production, baby, Toyota, baby, I'm still about them processes, baby. You know what I mean? It's still about efficiency.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's nice. It's like big dreams now because that stuff's expensive to do. But yeah, I'm just literally selling the art that I have been shooting to build funds to go shoot more art. Yeah. So I'm back to hustling. I'm back to slanging art. And dude, like, can I be real? Just 100% real with you, Julian? Slanging art is the hardest thing on earth, right? Because like when I was slanging commercials or slanging photos and videos, it's really easy because the person gets I do some magic.
Sure.
They get a thing that's them, but better than they can do of themselves, right? So that's what I do. Yep. So they get like a portrait, a video, a bio, whatever, a commercial of their product, person, idea. Yeah. Right? Here, they're not involved in that. There's no emotional tie to this. I gotta be extra good. Yeah. I gotta be extra super duper good and like appeal to psyche. I had to figure out like human nature and like why does this appeal to me? Would it appeal to anybody else? It's so hard, And then, so I went to Co-Starters at Startup.
Yeah, over at Startup Safari.
Yeah, shout outs to them. Yeah. Shout outs to Chris. Chris Hintz, but they're like, yeah, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm gonna be an artist. And they're like, we don't know what to tell you, dude. You know what I mean? They're like, no one is just an artist, Sam.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know, but I want to be just an artist.
Yeah.
And then you look into it, every single great artist of all time was just like they had a rich, like, wife. You know what I mean? Like, that was it. That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Or like a rich uncle or someone that just paid them to make art. So I was like, all right, I can't take that route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then it's been...
Your lifestyle's a little bit different.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even have a garage. You know what I mean? So, no, so like through co-starters, I realized like what I'm selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not selling a photo, I'm not selling an idea, I'm not selling like, you know, something like tangible like that, you know? And I realized this at co-starters, and when I released my magazine, and my brother, I was like, yo, buy my magazine. And my brother goes, what the F am I going to do with a magazine? Dude, make a calendar so I can at least write on it. And I was like, in order for my own blood to support me as an artist, they have to get use out of it.
But you know what, though?
What?
That's the life we live.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. People don't want to buy anything now unless you get some music. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's in it for me.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, which is one of the reasons why a lot of artists struggle. It's because artists is such a self-passionate type.
It's so,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, it fulfills you.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily meant to fulfill others, although it does. It's a byproduct of you know, what you provide. But so many people just look at things like, well, if I'm not going to get any use out of it, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the wrong mentality to have, especially when you're looking at art. So that kind of brings me to my next question. Perhaps the last, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But how is your work being perceived at the Pavilion? Are people welcoming the exhibit with open arms?
I want to tell you the feedback on that.
Okay.
But let me tell you, okay, I take it back one step.
Yeah.
And tell you the elevator pitch I've finally figured out
okay,
for the
yeah.
art
Let's
side.
hear it.
I'm like, look, think about it. Every cool person you know, think about their office. Think about their lounge. Every sweet hotel you've been to, think about their lobby. What's one thing it all has in common? That peace. So like what I bring,
We got that piece.
yeah, so you got that piece. You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm selling is that piece. That
Yeah.
thing that pulls everything together. The one thing that lets anybody who steps into that room know that you have taste, your demeanor, you know?
You sound like my daughter.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my pitch. It's like
Yeah.
you're not buying a photo, you're buying other people's perception of you. At the end of the day, you're gonna finally be that guy that has, oh my god, that's a cool thing you have on your wall. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
every episode of MTV Cribs. You look at this. I don't know what it is, but it's that cost me $80,000. Like every episode, you know.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to. That's the world I'm trying to break into, and that marketing is even more absurd. You know what I mean? Like
For
to me, it feels more absurd coming from someone who had to share like ramen noodles with my brother.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
multiple meals in a row. Where now I'm trying to be like, yo, this photo, a little bit of ink on it, sick frame, that's worth $10,000. You know,
Yep.
that's worth your whole year's supply of ramen noodles for your family.
Yeah.
For this thing for your wall.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's the mental break I have to get to.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to sell art. Where I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Sure.
that's where my imposter syndrome comes in through there. But yeah, so like now it's just like, Sam, you're selling you. You're selling like, what you're selling is like, you're curating someone's space. You know, I'm trying to, like what my work does is curates your space for you. It adds a vibe. It can actually affect your own mood.
It will affect your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at it long enough.
Absolutely, it will. So how will people?
Oh, so at the
perceiving
pavilion.
your pitch and also the pavilion.
So the pitch, we ain't selling, but
Okay.
the pavilion, I think that's the key. That was the key. I'm so thankful. I want to shout out the Visual Arts Center. I want to specifically shout out Erin and Jana, the two ladies there, the curators who called me, and they guided me through the process because I was like, you know, I had my poor mindset going into it. I was like, oh, this is my one galley. This is my one shot. Do not miss my chance to blow. So I was like, I want to show 600 photos. I want to show every single photo I shot.
Yep.
And the show was 7 photos.
That was an Eminem reference, by the
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Just in case you missed it. But go ahead.
So, you know, it went from like 600 photos to 7.
Okay.
Just 7 photos.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
It's 7
And
photos.
that's what you got in there.
Yep.
So,
All in Vietnam.
Okay.
Central region of Vietnam, in the Marble Mountains. So it's a very, because it was part of my journey in Vietnam. I love that word, journey.
Yeah.
It sounds cool when you say that
journey,
word.
though, yeah.
Yeah, so that's part of my journey in Vietnam because I had never been to that part of Vietnam, and it had the world's largest marble temple, right? So it's
Okay.
like 220 feet, 17-story statue of marble of a lady Buddha.
Wow.
It's like the main photo at that exhibit, and I went there and I prayed because she's the Buddha for health and like vitality.
Yeah.
And I prayed, and I've been just like trying to heal my body because like from going blind, I don't know, for people that don't know like what diabetes does to a person, it just kind of wrecks, like literally your blood pumps poison through your body, right? So like the damage in my blood vessels in my eyes is apparent like in a lot of my internal organs too.
Yeah.
So I went, that part of the trip was to pray.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it was for. And then I got this jade bracelet that's supposed to heal me. It's been doing its thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was, I didn't even know what we were talking about before then. Just the reception to the gallery.
Yeah, that part.
I was expecting like 5 people to be there. Yeah, and it was packed. Vince did the speech. I was so happy. And then like I'm very optimistic, and like the pavilion is so funny because they're like, yeah, tell us what you want to sell these for, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, dude, what? You know, so like, as an artist, this is my first gallery. Pavilion's a big deal to me. So I went and I looked at the other artists in there, and like he's also Vietnamese. Shout outs to Teo, and he's from Minneapolis, and he does these super huge paintings, and his pieces are like $20,000 each, and I was like,
wow,
bro, what? So like, I priced mine like, you know, way lower because I'm not confident. But they're like, yes, Sam, we won't tell you when it sells. We'll tell you at the end of the show. I was like, what? So like right now, like, do you believe in manifesting?
For sure.
Because I'm like, they're already sold. They're just not telling
because they are.
They're already sold.
Yep.
But when this gallery's over, I'm gonna get a check
Yep.
and go, I need tickets to France, and then we're shooting the next set.
There you go.
So yeah, the reception has been amazing. I've been getting a lot of like outreach from just press and other even like smaller press, other people trying to do what I was doing before, you know, like creating content and stuff. So it's nice. I'm getting to meet more creatives right now. I'm getting to feel more involved in the art community, and it's great. People are like asking me to make appearances, go to events and stuff again. So like for like the longest time, Julian, I had so much PTSD from going blind. Just to be completely honest with you, the only time I could go outside was to shoot these. Yeah. But I suffered for years from PTSD from going blind. Yeah. And I had a couple eye operations, and one of them went terribly wrong. And so like that's where my PTSD comes from, is from that. And so for years I couldn't leave my house.
Right.
It was just
now for folks who know you, because I think I think it was your second operation.
Yeah.
You and I talked on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm, if I may, be a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah.
You broke down in tears.
Yeah. I do daily about it.
Yeah. I mean, like that took a large piece of you, who you are, who you perceived yourself to be. It took that away from you. Yeah. Or it felt like it took that away from you. And I remember, these are not the exact words, but you said something to the effect of like, I can't even think about doing what I want to do because I get emotional every time. And I called you not knowing originally that this was your second surgery, and I didn't know you had a first surgery. And I called you on some business stuff, I think. Like, hey, let's chop it up, let's do this,
Yeah.
And I was blown away by just like and it had probably been a year in between you and I seeing each other, talking,
Yeah.
or what, I mean, maybe even more than that. And you just, first of all, I appreciate the level of vulnerability that you had with me, that we were able to reconnect over that moment. And then, after that, I think the next time I saw you was when you reached out and you was like, hey, I got something for you. And then so we connected over this, and then you did the calendar deal, or no, then you did the Startups to Falls deal.
Yeah.
And I'm making sure I'm not losing you again. So first off, again, like, your work is so needed in this community, and you're right. Your piece is half sold. You don't know it yet, right? Or
Yeah.
you do know it, but I know for sure that your piece is half sold yet. And I want to make an ask to whoever is listening on your behalf, again, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because artists need sponsors. And if you want to go to France, we are going to manifest that too. And so my ask to whoever's out there listening is that if you have the means and the funds or the ability or connection or whatever you may have, reach out. And let's get you sponsored to go to France and continue to live out your dream.
Oh man.
So that's my ask to the viewers. That's my ask to our members. Is let's make this happen. So with that, how can they reach out to you?
Well, my name is Cham Phan. ChampPhan. You put that in Google, you find your book. So I make sure I'm Googleable. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, so you can find me that way, or just at champfan.com.
There you go.
There we go. Even easier. Yeah. So but yeah, I'm on all socials except for Twitter. And then I'm in Sioux Falls. My website has my email. If you send me a DM and want my number, you got it.
There you go.
Like, anyone wants to go to the exhibit, I'll give you a personal curated tour.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's running until March. That's my one plug.
Yeah.
Show at the Washington Pavilion till March. End of March. It's called Infrared Visual Arts Center. It's the first gallery. You're gonna see it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then after you go to France,
Yes.
then we're gonna reconnect to see who is gonna put you in another gallery.
Let's go.
All right. Or maybe you'll have your own gallery.
Man, it'd be nice to have multiple around the world running at the same time. I'm picturing big, Julian. I'm picturing I got a show in France, I got a show in Dubai, I got a show in Nigeria, I got a show, in China, I got a show. I want to be everywhere with my art. I know it's possible.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure. Now, we don't have thousands or millions of people listening, but I promise you there's someone with a connection somewhere. So even if y'all don't have the connections yourself, reach out to someone who does. Let's make this happen. So any last words? Actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not even before you get the last words.
Yeah.
I know you got a hard cut, actually. So yeah, last words for you.
Yes.
You gotta go.
I just want to say thanks
Yeah.
to you. Thanks to the Hub. Thanks for making a space for people like me who's never felt part of groups to feel comfortable. I want to and shout out to the city, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the city for real. There's just so many people in our our generation that's doing really cool stuff right now. So if you're in Sioux Falls, you have no reason to be bored. You have no reason to not feel engaged.
Mm-hmm.
You have no reason to not feel to be able to be involved. All it takes is just stepping out. And if you feel like you don't have anyone to step out with, hit me up.
There you go. Step out.
Step out with me.
And step into your passion. If you have something that you're passionate about, and you feel afraid sometimes to do so in those spaces, we just talked about how you have to code switch, in certain areas to make other people feel comfortable. But now is your time. Step out into your passion. Step out into your courage. And we appreciate you for sure for being our second guest on Roots and Revenue, and we thank y'all for listening.
Thank you.
Peace. All right, man. We're good.
That was awesome.